So the majority of the time, the top picks in the NBA draft are the players that have the most potential, the players that have the potential to be superstars and maybe even franchise-changing players. It's very, very rare nowadays that a 4-year player, or a player over the age of 20 to be honest, is picked in the top 10 of the NBA draft, unless they're absolutely exceptional in college like Buddy Hield was a couple of years ago. What if I told you that 10 years ago there was a guy taken with the 6th pick in the NBA draft when he was supposedly 19 years old, but it turns out he was actually 3 years older than he said he was. So anyway, before this video starts, we are doing a daily December. We're uploading a video every single day. The goal is 35,000 subscribers by the end of the month, and we're about 1,500 off, so it's going to be extremely close. So if you guys like the content, subscribe, and if you guys have any ideas for videos, leave them in the comments because it is hard to think of a video idea for every single day. But anyway, now let's get on to the video. So back in 2007, a Chinese player named Jianlian, I definitely have butchered that name, so I'm just going to call him E, was taken with the 6th pick in the draft by the Milwaukee Bucks. If you were to look at his youth career, you would have thought that this guy was going to be a future All-Star. At the time of the draft, his date of birth was reportedly the 27th of October 1987. So he would have been 20 years old during his first NBA game, but 19 years old at the time of the draft. Adidas were hoping to sign E to a professional deal when he was extremely young, and they actually invited him to the ABCD camp in New Jersey, where he competed against the top high school players in America. After returning to China, he signed his first professional contract where he averaged 3.5 points and 2 rebounds per game in his first season. He also averaged 7.3 points and 7.3 rebounds per game in the 4 playoff games he played, and was given the Rookie of the Year award. He was 15 years old at the time. He also had an article on him featured in Time magazine in August 2003, titling him the next Yao Ming. In each of the next 3 seasons, he led his team to the CBA championship and was an all-star in all 3 of those years. He also won the CBA Finals MVP in 2006. In his final year in the CBA, he averaged 24.9 points, 11.5 rebounds per game, but his team did lose in the finals. He was supposedly 19 years old when he was putting up these numbers. He was extremely successful in the CBA, but he was also successful on the national stage. In the 2003 FIBA Under-19 World Championship, where he was supposedly only 15 years old, he averaged 19 points and 11.5 rebounds per game. And also the next year he competed for the Chinese team in the Olympics and averaged 6 points and 6 rebounds per game in the 2006 FIBA World Championship. So at the time of the 2007 NBA draft, he looked like he was one of the top prospects in the draft. He was projected to go anywhere from 3rd to 12th, but he had an extremely successful career in China. He was the best player in the CBA and had led his team to 3 championships in the 4 years prior. He also was averaging 25 points per game as a 19-year-old, and also at 15 put up 19 points per game in Under-19's World Championship. At 19 years old, he was doing things that had never been seen before. And also the fact that having a successful Chinese player is huge for marketing. There was a reason why Yao Ming started pretty much every All-Star game while he was in the NBA, and there's a reason that the most viewed basketball game of all time was a game between E and Yao when the Bucks played the Houston Rockets. As I said at the start of the video, he was selected with the 6th overall pick by the Milwaukee Bucks in the 2007 NBA draft, and in his first season averaged 8.6 points and 5.2 rebounds per game, and actually started 49 games for the Bucks. While these stats are nothing exceptional, you'd still think that a guy who put up these stats at 20 years old was going to have a good NBA career and would have the potential to be an extremely good player. But it was during that rookie season that the controversy with his age started. People started digging and found that in 2004 he was listed as being born in 1984 in the Four Nation tournaments, but Chinese officials said that it was probably just an error. He wasn't the first Chinese basketball player to come under scrutiny for age discrepancy, as former NBA player Wang Zhizhi had been listed as being born in both 1977 and 1979. In 2007, a Chinese government registration site was made public by hackers, and E's date of birth was shown as being 1984. And also, American center Jason Dixon, who'd been E's teammate during his entire career in China, said to Chad Ford that he was 21 or 22 years old, and it's pretty common over in China to change ages. A reporter actually went to E's hometown and found his senior high school registration form, which seemed to be filled out by E himself, listing his date of birth as October 27, 1984. They also found an elementary school graduation photo of E taken in 1997, which pretty much says it all. E only played in 5 seasons in the NBA and hasn't played in the NBA since the lockout year in 2012. He signed a 1-year, $8 million contract with the LA Lakers, but actually requested a release from the Lakers before the start of the season, and he was waived on October 24, 2016. He is currently playing in the CBA, where he was actually 4-time consecutive CBA domestic MVP from 2013 to 2016, and since going back has been an all-star every single year. This season he's averaging 21 points and nearly 14 rebounds per game in the league. So he was doing things at 14, 15 years old that we've never seen before. And at 16, 17 was the best player in one of the top leagues in the world. He averaged only 20 and 10 in under 19s World Cup at 15 years old. And at 19 years old was averaging 25 points per game. So it's no wonder why he was taken so high in the NBA draft. But it's crazy how teams can draft based on potential and focus so much on the age of a player. And then something like this can happen. Well, even with the extra 3 years, he was only 23 years old making his NBA debut, which is not old at all. But with the fact that it was his 6th year of playing pro basketball, as well as playing international basketball in all of those summers, it was pretty clear that even at 22, he was close enough to his physical prime, and he didn't really seem to get any better in the NBA. He did have a better statistical year with the New Jersey Nets in 2010, but that team was absolutely terrible, and the reason it was statistically better was because he played more minutes. He was a career 40% shooter, which is extremely bad for a guy who's 7'1", and was out of the NBA supposedly by 25, and only lasted 5 years in the NBA despite being the number 6 pick in the draft. So anyway, that's the video. It's just a crazy story I thought I'd talk about. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.